Some real Stucky scoop for everybody today as JaCorey Thomas commits to Georgia. And if you've not heard of him before, that's understandable. I'll explain everything you need to know about that now. JaCorey Thomas, a four-star player. He's not considered a consensus top 300 player in the country. He's not from Georgia. So if you don't know about him, you've not really heard a lot about him, that's understandable. He's not a guy that would be on the tip of your tongue, for lack of a better term. But he's committed to Georgia, and that happened on Friday. And let's get to know a little bit more about him. He's from Orlando area. He's in the Orlando Sentinels Super 60, which means sort of their best 60 players in the area. He had offers from Auburn, Miami, UCF. That's my understanding, at least. He came to Georgia during the Bulldogs' first weekend of recruitment. I don't really know what to call the beginning of June, but it was when everything really opened up. That was the first time JaCorey came to Athens. He got an offer that week, and now here we are at the end of the month, and he's decided to commit to the Dogs. So really I guess you want to call it aggressive timeline. I don't know about aggressive, might not be the right way to put it. Here's what Matt DeBerry, the recruiting analyst that you see often on this channel, here's what Matt had to say about this pickup for Georgia. It's another good pickup for Kirby in Georgia. I don't think a lot of folks saw this coming, but again, you look at what Kirby's done with off-the-radar guys like Tay Crowder, Jordan Davis, and others, and I was thinking about and others, and that'd be guys like J.R. Reed, Eric Stokes, etc. So defensively, they're doing a really good job. Anyway, back to what Matt had to say, and you just have to think they totally know what they are doing here because Thomas isn't a guy folks would immediately think of. He ended his junior season with 36 solo tackles, 24 assisted tackles, that's 60 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles and an interception. He also did a lot of running back stuff and receivers, which he wound up with 560 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's not up to me to sell these players in terms of their ability to y'all. We don't know a lot about JaCorey Thomas because he's not from Georgia and he's not a top 100 guy. When you watch the film, it's obvious that he's gifted. There's no question about that. I think the question is, where do you put him? It certainly seems like he's going to be a defender. The question is where, and that's harder to totally know because you're talking about a guy that looks, in terms of size, 6'1", 190-ish, that he would be probably a DB. Probably a safety. I mean, I don't know. 6'1", 190. You could play a lot of positions in the secondary. You get my point. You could play You could play safety. You could play DB. So this is a spot that Kirby Smart totally understands and knows this. I mean, you don't want to use the term expert too much. He is an expert at this particular thing, and that is recruiting players and defensive backfield stuff. That's what he's made scores of millions of dollars through the years. So he totally knows what he's doing. This is Georgia's 11th commit of this cycle. Right now, as I talked about yesterday, Arch Manning is on campus as we speak, at least as I'm recording this. This is the final recruiting weekend. Once you get past this weekend, the fall is basically here. As someone who's done this for such a long time, once you get past the 4th of July, everything ramps up. This 2-week period is about the only time that college football coaches get off. And usually June is not as crazy as it has been. But now that you're getting guys like JaCorey Thomas in, you've got 11 guys. You're waiting to see what happens with some people next month. This is going to be a summer that's hard to really compare to others because there's been so much recruiting that's happened. And now we're seeing, after 2 guys backed away, Bear Alexander being, a notable one who might not come back, now you're seeing guys who are falling back in line. It's going to be hard to know for sure what the fallout is for this for this section of time. Coronavirus obviously has affected everything, and in college football recruiting, it's really shifted the calendar quite a bit. I do think that June is going to become a new normal in terms of when guys make decisions about things. But this is a guy, JaCorey Thomas, who got an offer and within 4 weeks pulled the trigger to go to Georgia. That's fast. And now we're only, basically really 5 months away from when these guys will sign. Well, it's actually exactly 6 almost. So just a little fewer than 6 months that these guys will sign. So Georgia didn't just take this commitment. They're taking it to, this is a guy that we want, we feel good about. When you look at this class right now for the Dogs, it's solid. I mean, it's not a number one class yet. You got, a couple of athletes, if you want to put them like that, with JaCorey Thomas and Malachi Starks. Groves Killebrew is your only DB that you really are calling a DB. Maybe Georgia sees Thomas and Starks definitively as something on the defensive side of the ball. I'm certain that they do. Calling someone an athlete is not common. Darius Smith, Tyree West, Jalen Walker, C.J. Washington, Donovan Westmoreland. I mean, you've got several linebackers in this class. Jordan James, a running back. You're going to need to add another running back. Denylon Morissette, you've got a wide receiver. And then all of a sudden you've got Gunnar Stockton, who whenever you've got a quarterback, that's gonna be your highlight. But Gunnar's a 5-star guy or borderline 5-star guy. There's a lot to like in this class, but there's a lot left out there too. And I think this last 5 months of scrambling is going to be the interesting part to me. How does this program move forward in a way that's been complicated by the pandemic we're coming out of? Malachi Starks might be the best player or prospect, in this group as it stands right now. Groves Killebrew has really sold the program a lot. Morissette is who I was thinking. They're both from Gwinnett County over there. So there's, Stockton's really important, but today this is really about JaCorey Thomas and what he brings, which is a lot of athleticism, clearly. The question is, where is he going to play exactly? It's going to probably be defense. And then, where else does Georgia go here? Because they've got, by my math right now, I think it's 83 or 84 guys on scholarship now. You're going to lose 14 right off the bat. That drops you down to 70. And then, so you're not just going to sign 15 kids. So you're looking at anywhere between 22 and 24 commits in this cycle, and they're only at 11. So you've got half the class to go. Let's talk about it more over on Dog Post. Thanks for Stuckey's helping us out this summer. Lots of Stuckey scoop this year, certainly with JaCorey Thomas signing with the Dog or committing to the Dogs. Let's talk about it over on the website, dogpost.com.